Hello everyone. Thank you for joining the ICP Products webinar. My name is Chris Anstey, Inside Sales Engineer at ICP DAS USA, and I'm joined by Mohsen Faiz from our Technical Support Department. Our company initials stand for Industrial Control Products and Data Acquisition Systems. So for today's agenda, I'm going to be giving a brief introduction of our company, followed by an overview of our products, and then a few examples of how our products are being used in real-life systems. If you have any questions, just go ahead and type them in, and we'll go ahead and do a little Q&A at the end. ICP DAS was established in 1993. Our headquarters are located in Hsinchu, Taiwan. ICP DAS USA was launched in 2001 to support the North and South American markets. We have over 200 R&D engineers, and we work closely with them to add new features to our products, develop new products, and to support our customers. Most of our products are RoHS compliant, which means they're lead-free, and we have our ISO 9001 certification, which ensures we meet product statutory and regulatory requirements. The products that ICP carries can be broken out into three major categories, representing three important parts of a data monitoring system. The first is data acquisition, which is the first step in the process. Data acquisition samples physical conditions in the world, such as temperature or water pressure, and transmits this raw data to computers. Our data acquisition devices take readings from sensors and relay that information to the user's PC or PLC. Data communication is the means by which data acquisition devices communicate to the computer and vice versa, whether it be through an Ethernet switch, shown on the picture on the right, or through a converter or wireless device. Controllers are the brains of the outfit, and these are the devices that receive the information, analyze the data, and allow users to configure and control the various points in their application. Touchscreen controllers allow users to easily see and interact with their data acquisition devices, as well as the mechanical units that are hooked into it, including things like heaters and pumps. A simple way to look at these three major categories is to identify them as A, B, C, where A is for acquisition, B is bridge of communication, and C is for control. ICP has a variety of data acquisition devices depending on your customer's needs. Remote I/O modules are the most widely used. Some receive analog inputs, which are fluctuating measurements such as current, water pressure, humidity, etc. Some are designed to measure specific environmental conditions like temperature, voltage, or vibration. There are also units that receive digital information that measure binary on-off signals like buttons or switches being pressed. Rack-based systems are designed for customers who want expandability in their system. They allow for many different configurations and accept I/O cartridges that can be swapped in and out as needed. Data loggers can store data directly on a micro SD card and send that information to a PC at predetermined intervals. The information can be viewed on the connected computer as easy-to-read graphs and then exported to Excel. Some modules, like our DL series, pictured here, have LCD displays that show the temperature and humidity readings directly at the source. Intelligent power meters, like the one in the middle, take various electrical measurements from a connected machine or power source and send that data to a PC or PLC for review. And this is helpful for people who want to see how much power is being used in a factory or a building, and can help reduce inefficiencies. WISE products are data acquisition devices that allow for basic logic settings in the form of if, then, else rules, allowing actions to occur based on predetermined conditions. For instance, if you have a farm and you want your crops to be automatically watered during a heat wave, You can hook up a thermocouple sensor to a WISE unit, which would then trigger an irrigation system to turn on when the heat rises to a certain temperature, and then turn off when it falls below. All of these logic rules can be configured and monitored on a PC's web browser anywhere in the world. Zigbee Alliance modules are wireless devices that transmit I/O signals throughout a local area network. They're designed for contained areas like a factory floor or a building, and greatly reduce the amount of wiring that would otherwise be needed to collect and transmit information to various points. Zigbee systems have a slave device for collecting data and a host device for receiving the data. Zigbee repeaters can also be used to strengthen a signal for longer distances. Some Zigbee modules have I/O ports built directly into them for extra convenience. Wi-Fi systems can also transmit I/O information wirelessly, but through a pre-existing Wi-Fi network. We have modules that input and output with input and output ports built directly into the units. And finally, we have seismic alarms, which are devised to measure underground stress and send out earthquake alarms via Ethernet. This is particularly a life-saving measure in areas prone to seismic activity and growing in popularity in areas where this threat is common. Our data acquisition modules come in a variety of protocol settings and wiring options depending on your customer's needs. Protocols are essentially languages that a system or a unit speaks. Our i7000 series communicates over standard RS-485 wiring and uses ICP's own proprietary DCON software interface. They're designed to be easy, affordable, and efficient, and comes in a wide variety of I/O options. The M7000 series has all the features of the i7000 series, but communicates over the Modbus RTU protocol. For those who want to communicate to and from their devices over Ethernet, we have the ET7000 series and the ET7200 series, the latter using dual Ethernet ports. All of the ET modules can be configured and monitored from a standard web browser. The PET7000 series uses Power over Ethernet, or PoE, which allows the device to derive its power directly from an Ethernet cable, just as long as the connected switch is also PoE. As mentioned earlier, we have WISE units for logic functions, and there are other protocols that ICP also supports, including Profibus and CAN, both of which are popular in the automotive and aviation industries. We even have protocols like DeviceNet and the protocol FRNet, which allows for extremely fast communication speeds where instant data transmissions are critical, such as like on an assembly line. ICP's data acquisition units come with our free Easy Data Logger software, which allows users to log data, see information on a computer screen, or implement control. It supports layout pages for graphical representations of sensor inputs, and you can see the status of the equipment in a graph over time. The information can be logged in Access or exported to an Excel file, and you can also send out email and SMS alarms based on conditions. Users can create their own virtual graphs, which is helpful if they want to combine data, and you can even hook up a web camera. An extra benefit of Easy Data Logger is that it's compatible with third-party Modbus products, just as long as you have one ICP Modbus product in the network. Energy management systems, like our PM3000 series, help with monitoring power consumption and energy usage, which can help save costs by tracking and turning off unused energy. We have a variety of power meters based on the voltage and amperage requirements of the user, whether they be for small applications or high voltage industrial systems. Either way, the units are small and unobtrusive, which is important in many factory settings where space efficiency is important. Our PM3112 is one of our popular power meters. It uses a simple clip-on CT device which snaps onto a wire to take its readings. It supports RS-45, Ethernet, or CAN interfaces. This unit is NIST certified, which means it's been approved by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It also has 2 power relay outputs, which means you can configure the device to shut off, say, a piece of machinery if the power levels are getting too high. ICP also provides PC-based data acquisition boards that can fit in the PCI slot of a computer, such as the one shown below. There are over 50 different I/O configurations available. Some, such as the one on the top left, accept up to 16 analog inputs, and other boards, like the ones on the top right, operate on the CAN protocol. Since the PC board is installed in the computer, you will need to run a cable from the PC board to the interface, and we can recommend boards based on the user's unique specifications, whether it be memory boards or motion control for applications such as robotics. So now that I've shown you some of our data acquisition units, we can move to the next phase, which is data communication. With our industrial data communication products, you can ensure that the information transmitted in the field is being conveyed successfully to your computer or PLC. For instance, if you have a data acquisition device that communicates over an RS-485 wire, but you need to send that information to your computer using an Ethernet connection, you can select one of our serial to Ethernet devices. If you have an RS-485 wire and want to connect it directly to a PC's USB port, we have USB converters like the one at the top right. One of our popular lines is our Ethernet switches. These allow users to connect a number of different Ethernet devices into one network and transmit that information over the internet to any host computer. Some of our switches are managed devices, which gives users greater control as to how information is communicated. But by far, the most popular switches are the unmanaged ones, like the NS205 unit, shown in the middle right, which is a simple plug-and-play device. Although switches are easy to use, they're designed for harsh environmental conditions like factories or extremely hot or cold environments. Many industrial businesses use the switches in some respects, so because they're small, durable, and affordable, they're a must-have for many companies. At the bottom, you can see the wireless data communication products that I hinted at, such as the Zigbee and Wi-Fi devices, and many companies find these units useful in sending information throughout a local network so that they don't have to worry about laying a lot of wires. Our Wi-Fi modules communicate over the 2.4 gigahertz band and are used with many devices, including computers, smartphones, tablets, printers, and of course data acquisition. The units shown here have I/O built directly in. The WF2017 is an analog I/O unit. The WF2019 is also an analog unit, but with thermocouple for measuring temperature. We also have digital I/O units like the WF2055 and the WF2060, which are used for on-off operations. So here we can see how the Wi-Fi units are used in specific applications. With digital I/O, you can configure one device to activate an alarm on the other end when a connected button is pressed on the other end. With analog I/O, you can hook up a temperature gauge on one end that wirelessly reads the thermostat from the other device. With this configuration, the two Wi-Fi units talk to one another without needing a connected computer. This is known as a pair connection. Of course, you can also complete the same functions with just one Wi-Fi unit, as shown on the top right, if you have a PC or smart device connected to your network. This picture shows digital inputs in the form of a button or switch sending information to a host device. From the host device, items like pumps or fans can be turned off using the Wi-Fi unit's digital output. Such configurations give users ultimate versatility and can be used for numerous home and factory automation projects. ICP also carries a number of products that communicate over the AT&T cellular network, like our GT540 series. These I/O devices are good when you need data communication over long distances where an Ethernet connection is not possible or preferred. The GT540 has digital inputs and outputs and one analog input. The GT540P has GPS functionality, which enables the unit to transmit its location wherever it is. And this is very useful for vehicle tracking, since the device's location can be seen anywhere on a computer throughout the world. The 3G WA devices, shown at the bottom, use the 3G network for faster data communication. So here we can see the GT540 in action. Different inputs like seismometers and thermocouple devices can be attached directly to the unit, and the information can then be transmitted anywhere in the world with a cellular connection. SMS messages and emails can be sent, and all of the data functions from the connected devices can be viewed on a computer using monitoring software like Easy Data Logger. So now the final phase in our data acquisition system is control. As previously shown, a PC can be used for any number of control functions using SCADA software like Easy Data Logger. However, we also have Touchpad and ViewPad controllers for those who want to monitor and regulate their applications from one simple interface. Our TPD series, shown below, are powerful little units that can fit directly in a wall outlet. They enable users to see the status of their connected systems and control them directly from the unit. For instance, you can take the TPD to view room temperature and adjust it accordingly. You can also turn items on and off like lights, industrial fans, or window shades that are hooked up to an electronic device. The TPD 280 is a Modbus RTU device, and the TPD 283 is a Modbus TCP for Ethernet connectivity. The VPD series is designed more for industrial environments and has rubber touchpads. Their surfaces are built to withstand moisture and can be attached to a DIN rail. Each of these units have high resolution and an excellent cost-to-performance ratio. They're programmable in C language or ladder logic, and we have demo programs to help users build their programming application. The TPD 200 series has a 2.8-inch screen, and the U versions have extra features like a built-in clock and a USB port for uploading programs. The TPD 400 series has a 4.83-inch screen and connects either by RS485 or Ethernet, depending on the model. The VPD 130 with its 3.5-inch screen is perfect for factory conditions and can easily be accessed from tight areas. HMI Works is an easy-to-use development software program for configuring our touchscreens and touchpad devices. They are designed to be intuitive and straightforward and have many demo programs for working with Modbus devices, reading and writing to flash memory, displaying data, and other things. They also have libraries with lots of different pictures that can be used. So for those who want more advanced data monitoring and control, ICP provides Indusoft Web Studio with a powerful integrated collection of automated tools. It runs natively in many different Windows systems and can easily be set up to work with Internet and intranet modules. There are different packages depending on the number of authorized users, and the customers can work with setting up multi-language support, which can easily be switched back and forth as needed. Now that I've gone over some of our data acquisition, communication, and control products, I have a few examples of how our devices are being used in real-life applications. In one situation, our data acquisition units are being used in a public utility service. Our i7000 I/O devices are being used at various access points in the system and then controlled from one station. By noticing the real-time status of their connected devices, their productivity increased by 44% and downtime decreased by 30%. By controlling their devices from one station, they don't need to monitor their machinery in one person. In fact, they can control all of their systems from anywhere in the world with a computer connected. In this application, our TBD283 touchscreen is being used to monitor and control alarm devices. An emergency button is attached to our PET7044 digital input and then relayed through an Ethernet switch to a remote touchscreen device. A warning can be viewed from the screen, and alarms can be triggered from the unit to go off in remote settings using the same Ethernet connection. And finally, we can see here a factory that is using our Zigbee wireless devices. Our ZT2571 at the top accepts various machine readings that are being collected from an I/O device and then sends that signal to a ZT2570 host at the bottom right. Along the way, we have Zigbee repeaters to strengthen the signal over extended distances. Also in the factory are modules with I/O built right in. They're taking additional machine readings and communicating them to the same host device. At the top right, we see one of our VPD touchscreens, which employees use to input data. The data is then transmitted via a ZT2571 unit back to the host unit. And ultimately, the ZT2570 host connects to a computer so that all the functions at the factory can be viewed and monitored from one central location. Although this particular scenario is pretty intricate, it shows how our products are able to meet the demands of our customers' various data acquisition and communication needs. So that about concludes it, and I do thank you for joining our webinar.